Do you remember me, nigga?
My mama don't know. Quiet.
That's why my eyes wide open. If you sleep, you fell.
So chin up and let your glow take center stage from every angle.
For the lives of our daughters and sons, there really needs to be just one love.
I am from Hawaii. In the dirty and quiet part of your favorite vacation, you must understand.
One hand on the handlebar, cop chasing around me like, you can't ride on the sidewalk, living out my best life.
When I say CC, you say P. CC, CC. When I say drop the, you say Mike. Drop the, Mike. Drop the, Mike. When I say I love, you say poetry. I love poetry. I love poetry. Give it up for drop the mic. Let's get it started.
What's up, CCP? How y'all feeling today? I'm so happy to hear that. Welcome to the second round of the first audition show of the 6th season of Drop the Mic. Please give it up for all of our student poets who are here on stage. I am Dr. Michelle Myers. I'm your host for this afternoon. I am an associate professor in the English department here at Community College of Philadelphia. And over here, we have our wonderful panel of judges. Please give it up for our judges. So the judge closest to the audience is Alisha Dantzler. Please give it up for Alisha. Alisha is a graduate of CCP. Please give it up for being a graduate. She's about to start a master's degree as well, so we're very, very proud of Alisha. She's one of the founders, the original members of the Spoken Word Poetry Club way back in the day, and she is a spoken word poet here in the local Philadelphia poetry scene.
So I feel like sometimes poetry is just a form of expression. I work with kids and behavior, so sometimes that is something that's often needed is finding their voice to express themselves. So I feel like I bridge the gap between the two things I do with my life like that.
And next to Alisha, we have Miss Hope Thomas. Please put your hands together for Miss Hope. She's an administrative assistant in the Center for Male Engagement.
We're helping the young males stay focused in school, stay accomplished, and move on to their 4-year colleges. This was my first time being a judge for Drop the Mic, so I appreciated that opportunity.
And next to Miss Hope, we have Dr. Joan Bush. Please give it up for Dr. Bush. She's the Dean of Educational Support Services here at CCP.
This is my second season, and I'm so excited, always excited about the depth of our students' experiences and what they bring to the mic.
And next to Dr. Bush, we have Ills Wills. Yes, so Ills Wills has been on several seasons of Drop the Mic. He's been a finalist on multiple seasons as well. He is very active as a poet and an activist in Philadelphia, and we're very happy to have him as a judge this season.
Drop the Mic lets people see that, hey, you can say what's on your mind and what's on your heart as well, and people will take it and will let you know, hey, maybe you should have said that with a little bit louder. That may be the only thing that you will get from us. But no one is going to say that you had no right to say that or anything.
Coming to the mic now, we have Poet Profess. Please make some noise for Poet Profess.
I'm a behavioral health major, and oftentimes I write from an empathetic soul. My target group that I work with is at-risk youth, and a lot of times they'll disclose things that I have so much empathy, and I've been down those roads that I understand. But as a professional, I can't reach out to them and tell them that I'm sorry for the things that they're going through, or tell them that I'm sorry for everything that's happening. But I can tell them today that I love them and I'm sorry. So this poem is called Apologetic Disclosures. Somebody needs to say it, so I'm saying it, brothers. I waited and I prayed for a platform big enough to tell you I'm sorry and I love you. First and foremost, these apologies are meant for the boys harmed. Those left unarmed against the acts of adults that didn't care enough to properly plan for your arrival. To the little boys that was raised in a single-family home because Papa was a Rolling Stone. And learning to ride a bike playfully up the street is only a second thought. Because in this world with 3 other brothers and a little sister, oftentimes a house is not a home. So your main focus is survival. Hand-me-downs, handed down from generation to generation, nothing new. Kids can be cruel when in school. Trust me, I've been through it, so you're not alone. I've been bully too. I love you and I'm sorry. To the little boy that wasn't touched or hugged enough, whose energy and was a faded memory because he had that uncle that touched too much. Used and abused, growing up is not fair when you're trying to identify, and the world is filled with half-truths and half-lies. Society's accepted the sins of Sodom now, and churches involved now with so much to say and pen labels as an excuse. It's okay. He was born that way. Sexuality is no longer a factual reality, but a debate. Society adds to the pressure and says it's okay to emasculate. I love you and I'm sorry. To that little boy who had hoop dreams of making it to the NBA, the next LeBron, ahead of his time, Steph Curry, sweet with the J. Cut down with a bullet meant for someone else. Confined to a chair, life's not fair when the end result is deteriorating health. I love you and I'm sorry. To my players around the way, never been to Green Bay but always packing. Brothers, my quick to pull a trigger without a second thought, genocidal warfare and eradication and annihilation of the same color. My no remorse brothers, try to have an empathetic soul, try to have some control. Imagine if it was your mother that had to discover her only son's laid out in the street under a white sheet. Put down them guns, let's rise against violence, stand up. Little boys need their fathers, it's time to man up. I want for my brothers like I want for myself. I want peace, love, and prosperity. I want sound mental health. I want my brothers to stand strong on this battlefield called life and hold your composure. And like I said, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love all my brothers. Sincerely yours. Apologetic disclosures.
Poet Profess. Give it up for Poet Profess. Alisha, do you have some feedback?
I wrote a lot. I like the way you prefaced the poem and then gave the title. I think that was a good introduction to the poem. I feel like it was simple enough for you to be able to share it with the kid, but also it had enough complexity where an adult man could, the inner child in him could benefit from this type of poem as well. And I think your gestures were also on point. Good poem.
Miss Hope.
That was powerful. I mean, really powerful. So many men, young boys, they need to hear these words. They don't get it, and I just appreciate you for writing it and feeling the way that you feel, because I feel it.
Thank you, judges. One more time for Poet Profess. Thank you so much. Coming to the mic now, we have Malia. Please show your love for Malia.
I come from a spoken word background, but since I got to Philadelphia, I've just been working, going to school, trying not to put too much energy into other things, but I thought this was so perfect because it was on campus, something that CCP offers, and I would love to get more involved. So I actually went about and looked at the email, and then I emailed Dr. Myers, and I made sure that I didn't have class on these days because it was so important to me that I was able to show up and just be in this space and see what it's all about. Tavi-tavi po. Tavi-tavi. When I was young, my Filipino aunties taught me to say, "Excuse me," to trees at night. Tavi-tavi, tavi-tavi. They believe that in those trees there are spirits that inhabit the branches. And you must say, "Excuse me," before entering. Beyond the forest, there is a woman with 7,000 islands wrapped in skin. With a heart the shape of Samar, she sweats like Manila, is bent over in front of howling man, and to him she tastes like Olongapo City, a place where the women are cheaper than the beer. She is topless. He is getting ready to sink his teeth in. Light from a dim lamp is the only thing touching her body for the moment. And I wonder if he will give her American bills instead of pesos. I wonder if she can understand him when he says Asian slut. I wonder if he will say tabi-tabi first. If a tree is bent over in the forest, can you hear its bark break? If prostitution is illegal, why does the government regulate it? This is how the U.S. military defines recreation and amusement association, hypersexualization and fetishization of East Asian women. Welcome to the Philippines, where the military rapes the land like the women, and they don't have to worry about registering, clinical testing, or criminalization. That is reserved for the women. The closure of the bases did not change the scenario much. Military prostitution quickly became sex tourism. This is why every time a Filipino woman is mentioned in American cinema, she is a sex worker. Like May May, whose only English is "me love you long time" for $2, where writers think it's funny to have characters admit that they spent some time with those Filipino ladyboys that can do amazing things with their mouths when the body of an Asian woman becomes the only thing that is important about her. That is a problem. When a man's Asian fetish comes to the point of such exploitation and rape culture continues to promote and normalize this behavior, that is a problem. If a woman's options are to live in extreme poverty or be a sex worker and have money, that is not a choice. The forest is the body of a woman that looks too much like Ghost. Like feared spirit, no one sees her. Woman with 7,000 islands, my aunties taught me that we got bent bark for backs, that our women blend together like trees in a forest. Faceless women. So we must recognize her because she is always towering over us, the Philippines. Tabi tabi. Tabi tabi po.
Give it up one more time for Malia. Dr. Bush, do you have some feedback?
Again, incredible performance, incredible poem, bringing light to such horror. So thank you.
Alisha.
I really appreciate the storytelling aspect of the poem, and then just that moment where you bring us on your journey. And then also, I think that forest metaphor is like really fire, like it's lit, and how you carried that throughout, and then attached it to something so powerful. Like, dope poem altogether.
Thank you, judges. Please put your hands together one more time for Malia.
I feel so emotional and just very vulnerable right now. Yeah.
When a girl pronounces her own name, there is glory. When a woman tells her own story, she lives forever.
Then his bed is made of the memories I couldn't stop and shit.
Of course you mean something to him, because he got you sitting on the couch, legs crossed, all talking to his folks.
You are watching season 6 of Drop the Mic. Keep on watching.
Coming to the mic now, we have Al. Please make some noise for Al.
I drink with my pinky raised up, not obnoxiously straight, but bent, as if unsure of its place. The distance between my flesh and the surface of the cup is barely noticeable. Keyword, barely. I do not think that I am better than anyone else. I don't think that my skin tone represents my morals. The clothes on my back aren't a protest. I use more than 4-letter characters because I need to express myself. I drink with my pinky raised up because I was raised up in a broken down neighborhood. I drink with my pinky reaching up, but bent, to show that the struggle is real, to remember that I am never completely free, that the weight of the world will always rest on my shoulders. As a queer young black woman, I am invisible, my strength of God's, the world's rest on my shoulders, digging into my back, my blood is spilled but never noticed, used to sustain life but never appreciated. I drink with my pinky raised up, not above the others, but hovering, helping, waiting, wanting to be noticed. So until then, I'll drink with my pinky raised up because I can.
Give it up one more time for Al. Ms. Hope, do you have some feedback?
That was a great poem. It shows your strength and independence, and I appreciate that. Thank you.
Dr. Bush?
Yeah, really creative. Made me really think about the pinky and think tonight I'll have a drink with it half rigged up. But just a really good irony about life and what we're kind of told and what we actually do. So thank you.
Thank you, judges. One more time for Al.
This is season 6 of Drop the Mic. You gotta keep watching.
Coming to the mic now, we have Alexis. Please make some noise for Alexis.
If I could eat the sun, bore holes in the source of life bit by bit, drawing him into quarters, plates quartered into nutritious portions, but all I'll be eating is plasma. His heart might go down the wrong pipe, making me regurgitate planets soaked in stomach acid strong enough for the most massive of celestial bodies. If I could consume the stars themselves, Orion would quiver before me, fearing for his belt. Ares walks along a fine line of death when he walks by my side, forbidden, but he exclaims loudly, "Fuck you!" Taurus would butt heads with my horns, my teeth, my art. Gemini might cower together as though I were Mount Vesuvius and they resembled Pompeii in my gaze. Cancer could grow balls dense as neutron stars and pinch at my heels, fertilizing tainted blood growths to bring me down like Achilles. Leo should tuck his tail between terribly starstruck limbs, and Virgo might run through fields of daydreaming comets, damsel in distress, or put me under duress, equipping dark matter armor and light-built longsword ready to strike me down. Libra's scales would come crashing down. Justice is no more. Scorpio should lash out with a fierce jab of the stinger, venomously aiming for this tongue of mine which could withstand insanely caustic toxins. I've done it before. Sagittarius shoots arrows at me whilst riding on dirt made of Big Bang remnant elemental refuse. I would separate man and horse with nimble incisors in about a light year. Capricorn might flee up the mountain of quasars and lost nebulas, for I might grind his horns into dust, star dust. Aquarius will undergo droughts, the likes of which we've never seen, and while they thirst, Pisces would do all it could to keep me from snatching an eye, darting through starscapes like salt water. And if I could eat the stars, I'd start my infinite journey with the sun and a terrible case of heartburn. Sunburn?
Give it up one more time for Alexis. Alisha.
I really appreciated how you were talking about astrology, because I enjoy it, and I like the way you set up the imagery. So it builds on each time you say something, it builds, and it sets up these images for you to see through your words. I think that's really clever.
Miss Hope?
I also love astrology. I'm a little sad what you said about Leos, but that's okay. It's a strong poem, and I enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you, judges. One more time for Alexis. Coming to the mic now, we have Sister Love. Please make some noise for Sister Love.
I feel really calm. I feel very confident, and I just feel happy overall.
In modern generation, there's too much competing. Finding ourselves amongst one another seems to be frequent. Evidence points out that statement is following in sequence. America's full of hatred. I guess they have a reason. As thy master consequence for reasons. As thy altars are beautiful seasons. Matters might not be yours, but just to relieve us. Focus on the Creator, although the world is split in various regions. It's in the beholder's favor to make themselves greater. Savior is deep, especially when you have fallen steep. Be attentive to this. There's no time to sleep. Demand we shall have mutual relations, or there will be tribulations. Do not abide with a heinous person or into any temptations. Our spirit should be pure and gracious, not uttered with bitterness, nor surrounded with greed. To revolt from this turmoil, we'll have to tap into our intellects to lead. Moreover, America is supposed to be the land of freed. Conceiving this capacity of poverty, majority of the people are taking on this matter cowardly. My focus is to diminish the foolish who pretend. The ones who preserve to be superior, but call us friends. The same ones who has abased us are the ones who have revised history to erase us. Become vigilant to the problems so you can diligently solve them. Together, we'll present ourselves as one. Guarantee you there should be substantial outcomes. Honor the laws as you walk into the light. The Creator intends on Judgment Day to indict. Thank you.
Give it up for Sister Love. Dr. Bush, do you have some feedback?
Yeah, it was very good, and certainly timely in our country, in our globally, it's really timely. So I liked how you addressed power and the corruption of power. So I appreciated that, but that also what we need to do in order to get to a better place as a country. Thank you.
And Miss Hope.
It was quite wonderful. I like how peaceful you are, but strong, like to get your voice across and let us know how you're feeling about the situation and what we can do to resolve it. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you, judges. One more time for Sister Love.
DTM, drop the mic, man. DTM, drop the mic, man. DTM, drop the mic, man. Here I am, Black Can, the effing man. Yeah, drop the mic.
Drop the mic.
Drop the mic.
Drop the mic.
Yeah, CCP.
I'm just really honored and happy to be able to bring our featured poet, Denise Froman, to the mic. We're just, again, very, very lucky to have Denise here today at Community College of Philadelphia. Please show some love for Denise Froman.
I love the idea of performance, right? To me, performance is an internal rhythm externalized. So that really excited me that I could be in community in real time. And that's also what brought me to poetry, is this idea that it was about community and talking about social justice issues. And it was a place that I didn't need to have a clean landing. I could sort through the different parts of myself and unpack my relationship with my identity and the world that I was living in. One of the things that's been really important to me, in particular the last couple of years, is thinking about my poetic lineage, right? My literary lineage, who parented my passion. And so I want to dedicate this poem and invite everybody here to think about who parented your passion, because we didn't get here alone, right? And really honor them. And whether it's your mother, your titi, your abuela, your neighbor, maybe a teacher, maybe Dr. Myers, right? Maybe a peer, somebody who really encouraged you to follow your passion. This poem is my dedication to the women in my family, and also to poets and writers like Sandra Cisneros and Gloria Anzaldúa and Audre Lorde and Nikki Giovanni and Sonia Sanchez, many poets who I've followed for a long time who've encouraged me to keep on going and to really express myself and step into the power of my voice. I heard a woman becomes herself the first time she speaks without permission. Then every word out her mouth a riot. Say beautiful and point to the map of your body. Say brave and wear your skin like a gown or a suit. Say hero and cast yourself in the lead role. When a girl pronounces her own name, there is glory. When a woman tells her own story, she lives forever. All the women I know are perennials, marigolds, daffodils, soft things that refuse to die. I don't come from anything tamed or willing. I come from soil flossed with barbed wire, meaning abuela will cuss you out with the same breath she kissed you with. Her blood, a wild river. My mother doesn't rely on instruction manuals or men, nor does she equate the two. Can fix anything if you get out of her way. Says the best technology is her own 2 hands. But once I dreamed, I had no teeth, just a mouth to hold other people's things. If this poem is the only thing that survives me, tell them I grew a new tongue. Tell them I built me a throne. Tell them when we discovered life on another planet, it was a woman. And she built a bridge, not a border. Got God and named gravity after herself. Thank you. So this last poem I'm gonna do is, of course, dedicated to my mother. I wanted to write a poem that celebrated her language, her accent, that celebrated her in her own agency, right? I wanted to have a conversation about languages and about this idea that there's a hierarchy of language that puts English at the top and every other language at the bottom. And not just any kind of English, but this idea of proper English, as if languages and people, as if we don't both move, as if we don't bend and blend and create words. Lit wasn't around when I was in high school, right? Generations create language, and I think that's incredibly creative. I think it's something that should be respected and studied. I think Spanglish is a legitimate language. I think African American vernacular, slang, whatever you want to call it, Black English, these are legitimate languages, the way that we creolize and bend and blend and mix languages together to create something new, right, that reflect our culture. So I think it's important that we sort of subvert the idea that there is a hierarchy of language. We don't have an official language in this country. Right? And so really when people say, go back to your country or speak English, or this is an English-only space, what they're really saying is, who does this country belong to, right? And who's in and who's out and who's us and who's them. And as the youngest of 3 kids, my mom speaks Spanish primarily. That's her first language. I often saw people in formal positions of power behind a desk speak down to her because they heard an accent and assumed she wasn't smart, she wasn't capable, and that she could be taken advantage of. So many of us who have parents whose first language isn't English, we have been the unofficial, official translators of not only the language, but I think to translate some of the shame. And so this was my way to sort of take a shame that didn't belong to my mother, right? And to celebrate her and her agency. My mom holds her accent like a shotgun with 2 good hands. Her tongue all brass knuckles slipping in between her lips, her hips are all laughter and wind clap. She speaks a sancocho of Spanish and English pushing up and against one another in rapid fire. Mira, there is no telling my mama to be quiet. My mama don't know quiet. Her voice is one size better fit all. And you best not tell her to hush. She waited too many years for her voice to arrive to be told it needed housekeeping. See, English sits in her mouth remixed, so strawberry becomes a strawberry. And cookie becomes a cookie, and kitchen, keychain, and chicken all sound the same. My mama doesn't say yes, she says aha, and suddenly the sky in her mouth becomes a Hector Lavoe song. Her tongue can't lay itself down flat enough for the English language. It got too much hip, too much bone, too much conga, too much cuatro to 2-step, got too many piano keys in between her teeth. It got too much clave, too much hand clap, got too much salsa to sit still. It's be an anxious child, wanting to make Play-Doh at a concrete English, be too neat for her kind of wonderful. Her words spill in conversation between women whose hands are all they got. Sometimes our hands are all we got, and accents that remind us that we are still bomba, still plena. You say huepa, and a stranger becomes your hermano. You say dale, and a crowd becomes a family reunion. My mother's tongue is a telegram from her mother, decorated with the coquis of El Campo. So even when her lips can barely stretch themselves around English, her accent is a stubborn compass, always pointing her towards home.
One more time for Denise Froman.
Here, what's good, what's poppin', what's hit, what it is, what it do, what's up. This is Lendo, yes, and you already know, and this is Drop the Mic.
Drop the mic.
Drop the mic. Drop the mic.
Drop the mic.
Yeah, CCP.
Hey, this is season 6 of Drop the Mic.
Coming to the mic now, we have Society. Please, put your hands together for Society.
You were like that one boy that would turn to me in class, knowing I'm done with the boatload of work the teacher just assigned, complimenting me on how really good I am at doing basic algebra. You're a facade. You shower me in what an idealistic boyfriend should act like by giving me your attention, time, affection, but most importantly, food. But that wetness symbolizes the tears that I'm left with after you proving your point. You tangle me into a web with temptation and sorrow to keep me company. You fed off of sexual cravings and me being a people pleaser and thinking like society that sex makes you feel better. I agreed. With every time that we did it, I felt pieces of my worth being set free. Knowing we lived in the caged economy, you depreciated my value. I mistook a likeness for love. So when I cheated on you for all the right reasons, I didn't feel apologetic. Although I don't believe cheating is the answer to everything, it gave me insight into my solution to solving this inequality, that you idolize my body more than my mind and you cherish my thighs more than my time. In the aftermath, I was still apologizing. 2 wrongs don't make it right until you multiply the good factors, yet you was never really good at math, yet I subtracted myself.
Society. Those Wills?
Yes, I was loving the schemes and the fact that it was like a personal poem. That was lovely.
Alisha.
I appreciate the algebra play and how you talked about, being in class and brought that back in the end. And then I like the subtle name drop in a poem. I caught that. I mean, it's kind of cool.
And Dr. Bush.
I thought it was clever, really clever, and the play with language and the pun at the end, I really appreciated. Nice job.
Thank you, judges. One more time for society. Coming to the mic, we have Everall. Please make some noise for Everall.
Always bring the correct answer. Never mattered if it was exact. Time is not on my side. I know that's a known fact. One of the main goals is to be positive, make an impact. It's easy to get lost, but difficult to get back on track. Live life to the fullest. You only get one. We can live today, but we not promise tomorrow like nonfiction. When it comes to problems, we attempt to fix them. But when the clock is ticking, you either try to do it quick or just leave it. Like the Ghetto Boys, is my mom playing tricks? Time, not much of it left. We living in the last days like Onyx. When it comes to being consistent and time management, it's a good mix. On the move, I ain't got no time to be falling for no tricks. It never hurts to learn something new. This is all determined by your point of view. It's difficult to decide when something is true. Time is not on my side. The ball's in your court. You decide what you do. That's it.
Give it up one more time for Everall. Alisha, do you have some feedback?
I would say just take your time and get to know your poem. That way, even if you do have to read it because you don't know it word for word, you're confident in your delivery. And just make sure you flowing through it, because I hear the rhyme and I hear the flow, and I want to make sure you can actually get that and convey it throughout the poem.
Miss Hope?
Your poem was great, but you seemed a little bit nervous, but other than that, it was great.
Thank you, judges. Please put your hands together one more time for Everall.
DTM, drop the mic, man. DTM, drop the mic, man. DTM, drop the mic, man. Here I am, Black Can, the effing man. Yeah, drop the mic.
Drop the mic. Drop the mic.
Drop the mic.
Yeah, CCP.
Coming to the mic now, we have Q. Please put your hands together for Q.
So here I go. These days, little girls grow with the change of times, but time seems to outgrow them. Become earlier to contain the lies, and innocence does not know them. Common sense does not show them they are growing taller and more potent at any age beyond our wonder. Got mamas and daddies going to the doctor, but the only response is, there's something in the water. Protect your little mama, the dog's been sniffing around. She's not into dolls and things at her age, but you're convinced she hasn't been getting around. Maybe the time of electronics may be rotting the brain. No more gazing outside the window pane, it's on the screen of the phone, the tablet, the TV. She's not looking when you're there, but alone she's seeing. Maybe it frightens her, the bluntness of the act, or it entices her and she wants to react, though her body's outgrowing the mind of her youth. She's too uninterested because of her phone to go experience the truth. Glorifying YouTube is a random telling her business, sex, and the only thing out in the world to witness. Little girl, let me tell you what he'll say. Sex, like you. He'll introduce himself, make himself seem so innocent and proper. He'll call her a few times to the run just to stop her. Once he lands in your head, the grins with confidence. He's envisioning your bed and you swear that he's modest. Undressing with his eyes, skimming your body from your legs, but casually calling you a goddess. Give him your number, you think he's a catch. You text him, hey, as soon as you get home, anxious for him to call back. You see on TVs, the blogs, how older men got the brains and the younger are romantic. Which one is he? You ain't catch his age, or did you even catch yours? But you don't begin to get frantic, because he seemed like he's into you by the way that he spoke, right? He sent your mind on a frenzy, you struggling to hold tight. The conversations are endless and they happen so fast. He seems like he got all the time. He's fronted by the quick reply text back. He hasn't mentioned the task. I'm sorry. Just be asking what you're doing, what types of things you into. He's just making it seem like he's interested just to get you, and you'll fall. Because he's talking about dates, how you're so different. He want to show you off. Post on Instagram, woman crush. Wednesdays, places to go, and all your friends think he cute and he got money. What a keeper. Girl, he ain't full of shit. He's spending money showing you off to these bitches. Doing the necessary things to keep you, so you think how long it's been. You getting texts to come over. You meet his mom, talk to his friends, and you think you know him. Let's Netflix and chill, order food, let's smoke. Of course you mean something to him, because he got you sitting on the couch, legs crossed, all talking to his folks. Go upstairs, relax, he's telling you sweet things. He's so happy he begged. He see the closer he's getting in between your nervous lash. You concerned, you don't know it, but you want him to know you care. You don't want to seem dismissive because you feel lucky that he brought you there. He ain't asked if you're ready or if you feel uncomfortable. He ain't just to be fucking before you know he's on top of you.
One more time for Q. Miss Hope.
Strong, very strong, and a lot of young ladies, they've gone through that same situation, that same scenario, and I could just feel your pain, and all I can say is I appreciate you writing that for your niece, because you want to protect her and keep her safe, and I love that, so thank you.
Ills Wills?
Yes, I was thinking like it was fast, but then with the whole mumble rap that's going on out here, like people can catch on to what's going on. And I do like the fact that you took the time to give that letter to the young lady, so thank you.
Thank you, judges. Put your hands together one more time for Q. Coming to the mic now, we have Sloppy Joe. Please make some noise for Sloppy Joe.
I could cast a line with a spinner and a sinker and be a fisher, fall out the boat, and like Michael Phelps, have to be a good swimmer and fight the rapids with rigorous vigor. I could chop a tree down and say, timber. I can work out, look in the mirror, admire my muscles get bigger, and call myself a weightlifter. I can scratch my chin and be a thinker. I can look at the Big and Little Dipper, drink a whole bottle of liquor, imagine that I'm a wizard, stuff a turkey's ass and pull out all its gizzards. I could paint my face with red polka dots and freckles and paint my hair red, call myself a ginger, and call another ginger a ginger. But I know better than to ever say the word. That's all.
Give it up for Sloppy Joe. Dr. Bush?
Yeah, I think this time you had better pace than you did the first time, so that was good. Okay. And again, the freedom of speech was clearly expressed.
And Alisha?
Yeah, I feel like you're comfortable on stage, and I think your gestures match well with what you were saying. And I do feel like, I think the ending was like a little bit of a cliffhanger, shock volume thing. So if that's what you was trying to convey, I think you did a good job of doing it.
Thank you, judges. Please give it up one more time for Sloppy Joe.
Interlude. Alright, y'all, it's Dwight. Name so nice, you gotta say it twice. Catch me on Drop the Mic.
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 Yeah, CCP.
Then closing out the second round of the first audition show of the 6th season of Drop the Mic is Day. Please give it up for Day.
In the building. How y'all feeling? Chit. Why do I feel so good and great as I stand up Is it because my hair is low? Or is it because the sky is high? Is it because they ask questions like, yo, Day, how are you doing today? I think it's because God has blessed a young one to do great things and amazing things and to bring so much positivity to everyone in society. My brothers ask me questions like, yo, cuz, when you going to crack with us? When you going to track with us? When you going to shoot the motherfuckers up with us? And I say, bro, I got to stay focused on my goals. One life, positive goals only. Some of y'all gave positive vibes. Some of y'all did not. Regardless, I still feel so good and great inside. And I can always thank the Most High for that positive vibe that has me boom, 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 boom. I thank God for the positive vibes. I feel wonderful.
Give it up for Day.
Cheer. What y'all think?
Ills Wills, you have some feedback for Day?
Yeah, so I love it. I love when I'm done hearing a poem, I'm like, what does this make me feel like when I leave? And this one is definitely giving me power. So thank you very much. You're welcome.
Alisha.
I'm very big on good and positive vibes, so I appreciate you sharing that with us.
Miss Hope.
I feel wonderful, and I really appreciate that. I love the energy. It was just everything, and I do feel great, so thank you.
And Dr. Bush.
Yeah, the energy is great, just like your first time, so that you kept that. I guess, again, maybe think about kind of trying to anchor that in something that is really making you feel great, making you feel wonderful, and get the audience kind of thinking about what should be making them feel great and what makes their life wonderful.
Thank you, judges. Please put your hands together one more time for Day. Can you put your hands together for all of our student poets who performed today? They did a wonderful job. So now the judges are going to tabulate their scores, but you, as our audience, you are our fifth judge. So we're just going to ask that you circle the name of your favorite poet, just one. And then the judges will tabulate all the scores, and in just a few moments, we're going to announce who our top 5 poets from today are, and then they will be performing in the final showcase on October 22nd. While we're waiting for the judges, it should only take a couple more minutes. I guess I'll do a quick poem. So this poem is called It's Nothing, and it's a poem that I wrote for a mother whose name was Mrs. Lee. Tomorrow, and the reason why I perform this poem a lot, but one reason why I want to perform this today is because tomorrow, October 9th, is the 10th anniversary of when I met Mrs. Lee for the first time. So her son, Fong Lee, was murdered by a Minneapolis police officer in 2006. And so Fong Lee, his name was Fong Lee, and he was 19 years old. He's Hmong. So if you're not familiar with the Hmong people, they are an ethnic minority group who originate from the country of Laos. And a lot of Hmong people came here to the United States as refugees after the Vietnam War, because a lot of Hmong men fought alongside the US military. And so the North Vietnamese were going to kill lots of Hmong people because they had fought with the US military. So many of them came here as refugees, and there's a large population of Hmong people that live in Minneapolis, St. Paul. And so Fong Lee was 19 years old. He was hanging out on his bike with a group of friends, and then 2 Minneapolis police officers accosted them, and so they rammed him off his bike. They chased him behind an elementary school, and they shot him, the one officer, Jason Anderson, he shot him 8 times in the back. Actually, what happened was he got the Medal of Honor for killing Fong Lee. So he claimed that the reason why he had shot at Fong Lee is because he said that he thought he saw Fong Lee pulling out a gun, and there was a gun found at the scene. But at the trial, there was a video expert that testified that there was no gun in Fong Lee's hand, and also at the gun that was found at the scene, there was also evidence presented that that gun was actually the property of the Minneapolis Police Department at the time it was at the scene. But Jason Anderson was still acquitted of any wrongdoing in Fong Lee's death. I do want to share this poem, which is called It's Nothing. And it's a poem that I wrote to Fong Lee's mother, Mrs. Lee, and to his sister Shua, who was often the spokesperson for the family. Okay. Thank you, you say. When I tell you it's nothing, you say, it's not nothing. It means a lot. And I know I've said the wrong words. Even trying to correct myself, I don't get it right. It's my pleasure, I say. But it's not a pleasure either, because this is all unspeakable, earth-shattering anguish. It's not a pleasure to a mother who has lost a son, to a sister who has lost a brother. And I'm just a poet, trying to make the world a better place, armed with flimsy words that can't stop bullets, avenge murder, or save your son. And so I say what I am doing is nothing. If only I could do more, but all I can do is this. Stand on stage, spitting impotent words and vehemence of injustice, entreating strangers to be aware, to donate money, to spread the word, trying to pound my own weak words into something like cold steel, to hold to the figurative throats of Jason Anderson and all those other racist pigs on the Minneapolis Police Department and on that jury and scream, die, die, you murderers! Hateful, vengeful words that I am hesitant to even share with you in this poem because I'm afraid that you will think badly of me. This person who you thought was such a nice girl. But I sit at this table, and I witness this wall of words erected before my very eyes and cemented by the silence in between talking as your tired face speaks Hmong to your daughter, who attempts to translate your words into a language beyond English, into a language the heart understands. And so that my heart will understand, you bring me Fong's picture printed on computer paper and say through Shua, I wanted you to have the original, but I couldn't find it. But it's okay because this speaks loudly enough. And so this afternoon, I testify to an audience filled with students at the Drop the Mic audition show at Community College of Philadelphia in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania on your behalf. But this is nothing. What I wish is that I could bring you back your son and brother. I wish I could bring him back to you, that child watching birds and chasing pigeons. I wish I could bring him back bulletproof and shielded by force fields so that he can walk as always through your front door to sit in family photos and play with nieces and nephews. I wish I could bring you peace so that you can sleep with a quiet mind and so that you're not fearful. Some cop is waiting around every corner for one of your other children to slip up. Just once, I wish I could help you to feel safe, to be happy, and to simply live again. I wish I could do more than cry on stage for you, fight for you, be angry for you with these never-lasting words. But this is the best that I can do, and this is nothing because it is what I must do to demand something more for you, for us, for Fong. Thank you.
I'm at CCP and I'm feeling right. The words are real cool, it sounds so nice. I wanna say shout out to Dr. Myers, cause all the poets are here to drop the mic, drop the mic.
To bring this to a close, so can we give it up for our judges who tabulated the scores, who did the first round of the first audition show, and now we're finishing up the second round. Can you give it up for yourselves for being an amazing audience, okay? So our top 5 poets from today's first audition show of Drop the Mic in no particular order, and when I call your name, please stand up. First poet moving on to the final showcase, Q. Please give it up for Q. Again, in no particular order. Second poet moving on to the final showcase, Poet Profess. Please put your hands together for Poet Profess. The third poet moving on to the final showcase, Elijah. Please make some noise for Elijah. The fourth poet moving on to the final showcase, Sister Love. Please make some noise for Sister Love. And the last poet, moving on to the final showcase on October 22nd, Malia. Please make some noise for Malia. She had to leave because she had to go to work, but we're so happy that these are our 5 poets. Please show them all your love. Again, one more time, a round of applause. And then also, can we show love to our feature poet, Denise Froman, one more time for being here this afternoon. Thank you all so much for coming. Have a great afternoon, everyone.
Thank you.